And welcome back to Subculture. You are on centralcoastradio.com, and now we're going to take a look at a brand new theatre production that is on in Melbourne at the moment. This is the new production from a theatre company that I'm so excited about. I love being able to go and see their stuff. They're called Theatrical, and this time around they are doing a musical called Dogfight, which is based on the 90s movie starring River Phoenix. Now, of course, the big thing about this production is it is put together by the three theatre people who put together The Greatest Showman and also Dear Evan Hansen. So this production has got a little bit of credentials behind it. Now, for those that don't know the story of the film, it is a bit of a risky kind of plot in today's society. It is set in the 60s and it revolves around three best friends: Eddie, played here by Daniel Nabrowski; Bernstein, played by Tristan Sakari; and Boland, played by Josh Jareen, who arrive in San Francisco the night before they are shipped off to the Vietnam War. The three, who call themselves the Three Bs, spruik bravado, and it's obvious that they believe that no harm's going to come to them even when they leave to go to war. Now, it's here on this one night in San Francisco that they are part of a perverse game called a dogfight. Now, through that, Eddie meets Rose, played by Antoinette Davis, a young waitress working in a diner. Now, she becomes his dogfight victim because in order to win the dogfight, the Marine who brings the ugliest girl to the party wins a bounty of cash. But as the night goes on, Eddie starts to realize that he wishes that he hadn't brought Rose along to this dogfight because he feels that there's something more to Rose, especially because of her love for music. He does everything he can to try and make her back out, but unfortunately, it is too late for that. So, Lee, what did you think of this theatrical production of Dogfight?
It's a very emotive piece, actually. You've got a storyline that, in some ways, is disgraceful or distasteful and disgusting. You've got a group of guys, basically, that are picking out women who they think are ugly or fat, or they just don't fit the mold of a supermodel that they would want to date. And so you sit uncomfortably with that a little bit. And you see the introduction of two characters in particular, Eddie and Rose, who connect, and then you start to see Eddie struggling with the moment he's bringing Rose to the party, which is the dogfight, because he starts to realize, actually, I have a connection with this girl, and you see him trying to prevent her from coming in some ways, or stop her from actually dancing, because once you're on the dance floor, you're part of that.
You're getting judged.
Yeah, you're getting judged then. And so, but she thinks, of course, that by him not dancing with her, that there's something wrong with her, because she thinks he doesn't want to dance with her, but really he's trying to prevent her being judged because he's realized that there's a connection. I think this musical, it's been turned into a musical because the original movie was not a musical.
No, apart from a couple of songs Rose sings, yeah.
Definitely, it had a couple of songs in it, but this has been turned into a full musical. In doing that, it is still very true to the original movie. And there are some original lines that I could pick out that were in the original movie.
Especially the funny scene where Rose is ordering in the restaurant and she's trying to show Eddie what swearing sounds like.
Yes. Oh, that's really, really funny scene. I quite enjoyed that scene. she played that scene very, very well. But yeah, I'd say that the level of acting was as good as the movie. In fact, now this is a big call. I actually think that the character of Eddie and Rose played an even higher quality of character in this set.
I thought that the Eddie that we saw on stage, you got more of a feeling of his character motivations.
Yes.
And I don't know whether that's because of the way that the theatre production is written, or whether or not it was because we were in the second row and we could kind of see the self-doubt looks and stuff that Daniel Nabrowski was bringing to the character. But the one thing I did think was that Antoinette Davis was a lot better playing Rose than what Lily Taylor was in the film, because I thought Lily Taylor kind of made Rose a bit cold and standoffish in the film.
She was awkward in the movie.
Yeah, whereas I thought Antoinette Davis here played a
warm
Rose
character.
as a character that you could relate to a lot more.
Yes.
So you kind of liked her a bit more. The other reason why I think the theatrical production is better than the movie is a lot of the songs give you the inner thoughts of the characters. So you're getting a real feeling of what the characters are thinking, what they're feeling, and what their motivation is in those scenes.
Yeah. The thing I probably struggled with most, it's not really a criticism because it's also a compliment, is that the character of Rose was invited to the dogfight initially because, although she doesn't know the reason why she's been invited to the party, but because she is supposedly unattractive and and isn't and could be scored in the most ugly category. And of course, the guys that are bringing along a girl are trying to find, I guess, the ugliest girl that there is on the street. I did not see Rose like that in any way.
Most of the girls that the guys brought along
she was
didn't.
Quite attractive, actually. She's beautiful. Antoinette Davis is beautiful, and so even though like there's lines referring to her as being fat, I didn't really look at her in that way. And also she has a natural beauty about her and a presence that I guess as an actress just draws you to her. And I guess in that way, the character of Eddie was drawn to that and realised how amazing Rose was. But yeah, when it came to the judging, like the judging scenes, my head was just like really torn because I'm like, but Rose like seems really beautiful to me. So that was just something that played on my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was one scene that I found disturbing or troubling, and I think, you know, it's a scene where one of the guys wants to pay for a sex worker, and basically forces them into...
It's Bernstein.
Yes.
Yeah.
Forces them into, even though they do work in that industry, the sex worker says no, but basically forces her to work and for him to have that experience.
I think that's the scene though where Eddie finally realizes they've gone too far.
Yes, and so while it's used in a good way for Eddie to change, and you start to see Eddie's character change throughout the whole production of that immature boy just being one of the boys and disrespecting women and situations, you start to see that's kind of a moment where the light bulb goes off and he's like, hang on, this is not okay, and he starts to change, and you see the challenges of change and him kind of going back to his old thoughts at times, but then Rose's character draws him out and questions him and pushes him. But as that's happening, their relationship is starting to go deeper and deeper. And so, yeah, I think it's quite an in-depth theatre production. There are a few scenes that do differ from the movie. And yeah, I'm not fully sure why, there's a significant part right at the end that I thought, I wonder why they changed that. But at the same time, it really worked in the production.
Yeah, that scene, like you said, it's like the Michael J. Fox film Casualties of War, where it feels like the character has to see that in order to be able to make the change. There was a few other people I wanted to mention too. I wanted to mention Madeline Pratt, who plays Marcy. She has a song that she performs called It's a Dogfight, and that to me was one of the highlights of the entire production. She's got such an amazing voice that I think that we're definitely going to see her in some bigger productions over the years to come. For those that don't know about theatrical as a theatre company, they try to work with actors and actresses who are just breaking out into professional theatre. So it was great to see Madeline Pratt do such an amazing job. I also wanted to mention the set designers, Yvonne Jin and Bianca Pardo, who did an amazing job with a set that really transported me back to San Francisco in the 1960s. I thought Timothy John Wilson did an amazing job as the conductor, because the musical numbers in this are just absolutely brilliant. With the cast, I also wanted to highlight Ryan Etlis, who had us laughing out loud with the two characters that he played, the lounge singer and also the waiter. And I also think that even though he plays one of the meanest and harshest characters in this, I thought Josh Doreen did such a good job playing Boland, who is the absolute a-hole in the characters. But I thought he did a really good job. That's kind of a hard role to play, and I think he did an amazing job with that role. So, yeah.
I also enjoyed the performance of Olivia Linas, who played the mother of Rose, and also she played another character, Suzette. I just found her performance to be really strong, and again, a character that you were drawn into, and I almost couldn't take my eyes off of her, along with some of the other characters in this. I also enjoyed Antoinette Davis, her solos, her beautiful singing. I thought that she did a beautiful job.
Definitely. So as you would expect from a production that's been put together by the same people that created The Greatest Showman and also Dear Evan Hansen, this production of Dogfight is absolutely spectacular. So it is on right now at Chapel Off Chapel in South Yarra. So if you're in Melbourne or you're travelling to Melbourne, make sure you go and check out Dogfight at Chapel Off Chapel. It is on right now.